New Year's Eve in Liberty Hollow dawned crisp and bright, the kind of morning that made you believe in fresh starts. Snow blanketed the town square, and hundreds of residents bundled in coats and scarves gathered around the bandstand for the annual address. At the center stood Mayor Robert Harrington, tall and charismatic, his tailored wool overcoat from a high-end designer label catching the winter sun just right. Beside him, his wife Evelyn looked every bit the perfect political partner. Elegant red dress beneath a luxurious cashmere coat, diamond earrings sparkling, designer handbags slung over her shoulder. Their new black luxury SUV gleamed at the curb, still sporting temporary plates. To the crowd, the Harringtons were the picture of success. The mayor who'd brought jobs, renovated the park, and always knew how to throw the best town events.
My friends, fellow citizens of Liberty Hollow, what a year it's been. We've grown stronger, prouder, and more prosperous together. And as we step into this new year, I promise you even bigger things. Better schools, safer streets, and celebrations that remind us why this is the best little town in the state.
The crowd erupted in applause. Children waved tiny flags, teenagers snapped photos for social media, and the local news crew captured every polished moment. Robert smiled wide, waving like a man who had the world in his pocket. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the town gathered again for the New Year's fireworks spectacular. The Harringtons had spared no expense, pulling from the town's discretionary funds to hire the region's top pyrotechnics team. The sky exploded in cascades of gold, red, and blue, each boom drawing gasps and cheers from the families spread across blankets on the snowy field. Robert and Evelyn stood on the VIP platform, arms linked, posting perfectly framed selfies to their thousands of followers. "Living the dream in Liberty Hollow," the caption read. Later, after the final sparkling finale faded, the couple hosted an exclusive dinner at La Belle Époque, the finest restaurant within 50 miles. They'd reserved the private dining room for 12 of the town's most influential citizens. The bank president, William Carver, the hospital administrator, prominent business owners, even the editor of the regional newspaper. Crystal glasses clinked, lobster bisque steamed, and filet mignon arrived perfectly seared. Robert held court, telling stories of future economic booms and dropping hints about higher political ambitions. Evelyn laughed at all the right moments, complimented wives on their jewelry, and made sure every wine glass stayed full.
Robert, Evelyn, you two throw the best events in the county. That fireworks show tonight? Spectacular. Liberty Hollow's lucky to have leaders with your vision and generosity.
Murmurs of agreement rippled around the table. Evelyn smiled warmly, touching her necklace as if modesty required it.
Thank you, Bill. That means a lot coming from you. But honestly, we just want to give back to the community that's given us so much. Evelyn and I came from humble beginnings, you know. We've worked hard, yes, but it's the support of people like all of you that lets us dream big for this town. When I see those kids' faces light up during the fireworks, or families enjoying the new park we built together, well, that's the real payoff. We're all in this together, building a brighter future, one celebration, one investment at a time.
The table nodded appreciatively. Glasses raised once more and clinked. When the bill arrived, discreetly placed in front of the mayor in a leather folder, the mood was still buoyant. Robert reached into his wallet with practiced ease and slid out his platinum card. The server smiled and disappeared. Moments later, the restaurant manager approached, expression apologetic.
I'm terribly sorry, Mayor Harrington, but your card was declined. Would you like to try another?
A hush fell over the table. Robert's smile froze for a fraction of a second before he recovered with a light chuckle.
Of course, these things happen. Here, try this one.
The manager returned again. Declined. Robert produced a third card, gold this time, joking about bank glitches over the holiday. Declined. Faces around the table shifted from amusement to polite discomfort. Evelyn's cheeks flushed beneath her makeup. Finally, she opened her designer clutch and handed over her own black card without a word. It went through on the first try.
Sorry about that, folks. Look, dessert is on the way. Please do enjoy yourselves.
The manager retreated quickly. Conversation resumed, but the energy had shifted. Guests made their excuses soon after dessert, thanking the Harringtons profusely on their way out. Robert and Evelyn smiled and waved until the last taillights disappeared. Back home, the Grand Harrington house was quiet. The Christmas tree still twinkled in the corner, presents long since opened. Robert loosened his tie and sank into the leather armchair by the fireplace. Evelyn poured 2 generous glasses of scotch and joined him on the couch. On the coffee table sat a neat stack of envelopes, credit card statements they'd been avoiding.
That was humiliating.
It was a glitch. Happens to everyone.
It wasn't a glitch, Ev. We both know that.
He opened the top statement. The balance stared back. $28,417. The next, $31,209. One after another. Department store cards, travel rewards cards, the platinum, the gold, all hovering near their limits. Minimum payments meticulously made each month, but the principal barely budging.
We're one unexpected expense away from missing a payment. If that happens...
It won't. You're going to announce for governor next fall. Once the campaign donations start rolling in, we'll pay these down. Consultants, fundraisers, endorsements, it's an investment.
But until then, we're maxed out. The mortgage, the cars, the club membership...
Image is everything, Robert. People vote for success. They want a leader who looks like he's already won. We'll cut back on little things. No one sees those. But the big things? The clothes, the car, the parties? Those are what keep the doors open and the votes coming.
Robert stared into the fire. He thought of the fireworks that had dazzled the town hours earlier, paid for with public funds while his private ones crumbled. He thought of the admiring glances at dinner, now tinged with pity.
Maybe we should scale back. Just until...
And let people whisper that the mayor's struggling. Let your opponents paint you as just another politician who can't manage his own house. No, we stay the course. We're so close.
She reached for her phone and pulled up a pre-approved credit offer, one of those unsolicited platinum invitations that had been arriving weekly.
Look, see? 0% introductory rate for 18 months. We'll transfer the highest balances, free up some room on the others. It buys us time.
Another card? Are you sure?
Absolutely. It's just a bridge. Once you're governor, we'll never have to worry again.
Robert looked at her, beautiful, poised, convinced they were one step away from the life they deserved. He nodded slowly and took the phone. Fingers hovered over "accept offer" for a long moment before pressing it. Outside, the first snow of the new year continued to fall, soft and silent, covering the tracks of the night before. Inside, the Harringtons raised their glasses in a quiet toast to bigger things coming. They couldn't see it yet, but the spiral had tightened another turn, deeper into the illusion that tomorrow's success would always pay for today's excesses. In Liberty Hollow, the green water tower glowed into the darkness, watching over a town that believed its leaders had everything under control. Some stories end with fireworks, others begin long after the smoke is cleared. Lessons learned in Liberty Hollow tonight. First, appearances can be dangerously expensive. What looks like success on the outside can hide a mountain of debt on the inside. True wealth isn't measured by the car you drive or the parties you throw. It's measured by the freedom that comes from living within your means. Second, Lifestyle inflation is a quiet thief. Every upgrade, every just this once purchase, every new card to bridge the gap adds weight to a load that eventually becomes unbearable. Third, image is powerful, but it's not everything. Voters, friends, and neighbors respect authenticity far more than perfection. Pretending to have it all together when you don't only isolates you when the cracks finally show. And finally, tomorrow's income is never guaranteed. Betting your financial present on a bigger future paycheck is a gamble that rarely pays off. The safest bet is always building security today, not borrowing against tomorrow. Liberty Hollow is full of stories. Some end in triumph, others in hard-earned wisdom. The Harringtons chapter is still being written. Maybe the new year will bring the wake-up call they need, before the next card gets declined. Thank you for spending this quiet evening with us in Liberty Hollow, where the lights fade, the snow keeps falling, and the stories beneath the surface keep growing. If tonight's glimpse into hidden struggles and fragile illusions resonated with you, give this video a like, subscribe for more tales from the Hollow every week, and let us know in the comments, what's one illusion you've held on to a little too long? See you next time, when the snow melts and the truth comes out.